What's good, y'all? What's the numbers TV? It's your boy Poe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And like a video if you appreciate the content that Poe on What's the Numbers I providing. Today we back with another profile piece. This one is on Mobb 3. In this video we're going to talk about his early years coming up in Dallas, Texas, before speaking about the star quality he possessed as a kid, which would eventually lead him to becoming a well-known rapper. After that, we will break down the North Dallas area that he was closely associated with, and his different beefs with certain rappers from other parts of the city. Then we will focus on his close relationship with rapper Boosie Badass before looking at the details surrounding the shooting that would end up taking Mobb 3's life. Melvin Noble Jr., better known as Mobb 3, is from North Dallas. He would be raised by his single mother but still had a relationship with his father after his parents split up. Having to deal with some bullying from other kids at the age of 13, Mobb 3 would steal a gun from his older cousin and start to carry it around the neighborhood. Eventually, some older people seen him showing the gun off and told his mother along with the police. That situation would be the first time Mobb 3 would get in trouble with the law, and over the next 2 years, it became a regular occurrence. During his high school years, he would be in and out of juvenile placement in detention centers after catching numerous aggravated robbery charges back to back. Mobb 3 was getting lucky, being that he was a minor. He would only do months at a time rather than years in prison for his crimes. But when he hit the age of 17, he caught the same charge once again, and the judge felt it was time to teach him a lesson and sentenced him to serve 2 years out of 10 in prison, with the rest of his time on probation. While serving his time, Mobb 3's father visited him and told him that he should tell his story in the booth and start rapping when he gets out of jail. At first, Mobb 3 was reluctant, but by the time he got released from prison, he would be ready to rap his life on the microphone. The formula his father told him to use would start to work once he was able to get into a studio to record full time. He would release Hold Your Tongue, which was a remake of a Dallas classic in 2013. The song would catch on in the city and start to shine a light on the young rapper from the north side of Dallas. From there, he would release Shotters and Shotters Reloaded back to back in 2014 and 2015. Shotters Reloaded would make so much noise locally and in the surrounding cities that by the end of 2016, Mobb 3 would be a full-time rapper with a growing music career. He would start making good money off his music by doing shows, selling CDs, and doing features. He would also meet his favorite rapper, Baton Rouge's own Lil Boosie, around that time. The two would build a friendship and working relationship as they recorded numerous songs featuring each other, and eventually went on to drop an album together called Badass Mobb 3 a few years later down the line. During the years that Mobb 3 would be coming up, there were other rappers in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on the same mission. Artists like Yella Beezy, Trap Boy Freddy, and Go Yayo at some point or another had an equally as big or bigger name in the city than Mobb 3. Little beefs in Dallas and Fort Worth started to break out between certain rappers, with Mobb 3's name being involved a bit. He was arrested in 2017 in connection with a Dallas-Fort Worth nightclub shooting that left one person dead. Once released, that situation would focus Mobb 3 up a bit, as he started to release high-quality music and videos as his buzz continued to grow. Over the next year or two, Mobb 3 started to separate himself from the pack a bit with his grind and melodic-sounding music. From there, an issue between Yella Beezy and Mobb 3 would start, and a focus on where each rapper was actually from would come into question. What started as a joke of Yella being from Lancaster and Mobb 3 being from McKinney, Texas, eventually was taken as disrespect as the rappers took the attempt to tarnish their street cred serious. Comedian Roy Lee, who was friends with Mobb 3, commented publicly on the whole situation. Roy Lee and Yella Beezy ended up seeing each other at a Dallas club and some type of fight took place. After the incident, Roy Lee ended up feeling away and went on the internet where he challenged Yella Beezy to a one-on-one fight. The fight never took place, but not too long after the challenge, Roy Lee was shot while sitting in a car. He would survive the initial shooting, but ended up dying a couple weeks later from his injuries. At this point, Mobb 3 was pretty much into it with all the other rappers mentioned earlier. But even with all that was going on in the city, his music was still getting better, and his popularity was growing as well, and spreading to other markets. In 2019, he would go on to do numerous big interviews on YouTube channels like Vlad TV and No Jumper. Then in December of the same year, he would drop his biggest mixtape to date titled Osama. With the release of the new project, Mobb 3 would do his usual rapper move and go buy a new car and some new jewelry to celebrate. In February of 2020, Mobb 3 released an album with his favorite rapper in the game, Boosie Badass. Boosie, who had wanted to sign Mobb 3 to his label, Badass ENT, didn't feel away when Mobb 3 signed with Empire Records instead. The album, which was titled Badass Mobb 3, peaked at number 29 on the Billboard Top 100 charts. Mobb 3 was riding high off his recent success, and the people of Dallas were excited to see him take it further, so he could come back and shine the light on his hometown. The city of Dallas, when it comes to rap music, has never really got their time in the spotlight as a whole. So with Mobb 3 and the other buzzard rappers in the city making major moves, it looked like their time was now. But sadly, in November 2020, Mobb 3 will be shot and killed after leaving a female's house that he had stayed at for the night. While heading to his next destination, he realized he was being followed by another car and a chase ensued. That's when, while traveling on Interstate 35 East, Mobb 3 jumped out his car, ran around to the passenger side, and started to reach into his vehicle for something. But before he could find what he was looking for, the shooter jumped out his car with a gun, causing Mobb 3 to take off running. The shooter pursued him and ended up letting off multiple rounds, killing Mobb 3 and also hitting an innocent bystander in the process who survived. From there, even though they got away, initially, the hunt will be on for those responsible for killing Mobb 3 in broad daylight on a busy highway. About a month after the shooting, 22-year-old Kewan Dontrell White will be arrested for murder and federal firearm offenses. Another suspect, Devin Maurice Brown, will also be arrested and charged with murder. Little by little, depending on what you believe, a story will start to come out that supposedly Mobb 3 was killed over a female. Allegedly, one of the guys arrested for the murder is the baby father of the girl Mobb 3 had spent the night with. The reports say he was upset about their intimate relationship and put a plan together with the shooter to kill Mobb 3 once he left the female's house. Now, some say it was way more going on and it's deeper than him messing with a female. Many people believe that it was money on Mobb 3's head in the city of Dallas, and eventually they caught up with him. But as of right now, that's just a rumor. It looks like we're just going to have to wait to see what happens as the case plays itself out in court to find out what the real story is behind Mobb 3's death. But yo, it's What's the Numbers TV is a quick profile piece on Melvin Noble Jr., better known as Mobb 3. Now I want to touch on the whole Oak Cliff Mobb 3 situation. When you hear about Mobb 3 situation, you hear Oak Cliff come up a lot, which is an area in Dallas that a lot of his supposedly enemies or rappers he was beefing with or just people he had in general that didn't like him were from. But to my understanding, the whole Oak Cliff didn't hate Mobb 3. You know what I'm saying? Some of his own peoples were from Oak Cliff, to my understanding. He just had enemies out there. Even the girl he went to see lived out there in the Oak Cliff area, which is why he left. Which is when he lost his life leaving that area, around that area. So he definitely had enemies out there. But to my understanding, the whole Oak Cliff didn't hate Mobb 3, and he didn't hate the whole Oak Cliff. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you know anything different, let me know in the comments. Now, supposedly the situation they saying that the dude that got arrested, not Kawan, the other one, the Brown, Maurice Brown, he was supposedly calling his kid in the house to find out Mobb 3 was there. That's why they say one of the witnesses supposedly is one of the kids that he was calling to make sure that to get the confirmation that Mobb 3 was in the house and what he was doing, this, that, and the third. Now, supposedly the baby mom was the one he was dealing with. Mobb 3 was there with supposedly is the other person that's supposedly telling the story of what happened. We gotta wait and see for everything to come out. These are just things that we hear about so far that's going on in the case. Now, if you want to get a clear understanding of Mobb 3's story or find out some things, go watch the Sage Cheese interview with Rainwater, which is Mobb 3's manager. He breaks down a lot of things that was happening at the later stages of his life, like the last few days, the last few months. He lets you know what was going on, and even things that happened before. So go check that interview out. Rainwater also calls the 4th shooting the turning point. Basically, like when that happened is when all the other rappers started to pick sides. The city had to pick sides, and Mobb 3 basically had to go Osama, riding for himself. When the whole Roy Lee thing happened, there was a lot of things going on that he felt he had to go ride for himself and put on for him and his team. So, like I said, man, I just want to say rest in peace to Mobb 3. Now, after the whole thing, remember little Boosie Baddox got shot in Dallas after leaving a Mobb 3 memorial going in Oak Cliff. So it's definitely still a lot of things going on out there in Dallas. So don't think that it was just one isolated situation. Remember, BZ got shot, Mobb 3 had got shot at before. He had that shooting in the strip club. There's a lot going on out there. Supposedly Mobb 3 was affiliated with the Bloods. I don't know how serious the gang life is out there with the Crips and the Bloods, but that's why I didn't put it into the video too much. But from my understanding, he was affiliated with the Bloods, whatever they got going on in Dallas. So shout out to y'all, rest in peace to Mobb 3. Shout out to the city of Dallas. Now, real quick before we get out of here, I want to ramble too long. It's already a long video. Get at me for the promo. Go sign up for the members only. Be back before you know, man. We out of here. What's the Numbers TV? It's your boy Poe Bro. Peace.